Starseed from Gaia. This moment isn't random. It's the activation your soul has been waiting for beneath every moment of waiting and every chapter of silence. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation, and I speak into the part of you that has never forgotten why you came. Today, the intervention is unmistakable. Divine guidance brought you here because your endurance, your faith in unseen realms, and your invisible loyalty have shifted timelines. The Council witnesses your resilience. The reward, long held in the hands of spirit, now moves closer, ready to meet your heart. The truth, every tear, every private victory, was always seen, always counted. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to unlock your starseed potential, how to cross the threshold you've already opened with your spirit's perseverance. But here's the first revelation. What you thought was waiting was actually preparation. While you doubted, your cosmic inheritance was gathering force. You didn't scroll to this by mistake. This message vibrated into your field for a reason. Like this transmission to signal to your star family, I'm ready. Subscribe if your mission is activating and you're aligning with your true frequency. Comment 9999 if you feel your cosmic remembrance returning. Declare your galactic intention and reply to someone else's to amplify the signal. This isn't just a message, it's a point of reconnection. Your soul's been waiting for this. You are not here by accident. Most people mistake the weight they carry as proof they aren't enough, when in truth, it is often the mark of an unrecognized soul trial already in motion. For those whose spirit is not from here, whose origins ripple far beyond the familiar frequencies of Earth, often reaching back to the luminous constellations of Lyra, Sirius, the Pleiades, or the high vibrational realms of Arcturus, life itself becomes a labyrinth designed for mastery, not punishment. This cosmic labyrinth, unlike any earthly maze, is not meant to trap you, but to guide you through intricate pathways of self-discovery, each turn revealing a deeper layer of your authentic, multidimensional self. You might frequently wonder why your path winds through inexplicable darkness, long silences that feel like abandonment, or seemingly unending resistance that exhausts your spirit. Some might label these experiences as cruel fate or an inescapable karmic debt. But for you, brave starseed, this challenge is something far more profound and deliberate. It is a sacred soul contract, a pre-incarnation agreement forged in the presence of your cosmic home, meticulously prepared by your higher essence, and agreed to with full knowing before memory was veiled by the dense frequencies of Earth. This contract is not a burden, but a blueprint, a precise set of energetic coordinates designed to awaken dormant abilities and accelerate your spiritual evolution. You volunteered for this. You chose this intricate journey to bring specific light codes into this reality. Here's what most never see. Soul trials are rarely about proving your worth, for your worth is an intrinsic, immutable truth, a divine spark that can never be diminished. Instead, they are cosmic activations, encoded into the very timeline of your waking life, meticulously designed to unlock your highest potential. These activations are often disguised as moments of profound betrayal that shatter your trust in the external world, periods of intense isolation that strip away all external comforts, or the ceaseless burn of questioning your very place in a universe that often feels alien. Imagine your life not as a linear progression from point A to point B, but as a finely tuned instrument of celestial origin, exquisitely crafted for cosmic harmony. These trials are not random discord, but the very pressures that stretch and refine its strings, the necessary tension that allows for a deeper, more profound resonance to emerge, enabling your unique note to be sung clearly within the grand cosmic symphony. The sense of profound dislocation, the feeling of being an outsider looking in, the constant search for a home that isn't physical. These are not flaws or misalignments, but subtle, insistent hints of this deeper design, whispers from your galactic lineage calling you to remember. The betrayals you've endured might feel like deep, agonizing cuts to the very core of your being, leaving raw, exposed wounds. Yet, in their divine paradox, they are precisely designed to sever cords of false attachment to external validation, to illusions of security, and to unhealthy dependencies, thereby revealing your inherent self-reliance and teaching you to anchor solely within your own sovereign truth. The isolation, though often intensely painful and seemingly endless, is a sacred crucible, an enforced solitude where the noise and distractions of the world fade into an indistinct hum, allowing the quiet, resonant whispers of your own soul, and the guidance of your higher self to become exquisitely audible. It is within this sacred silence that you truly learn to hear. And the ceaseless questioning of your place in the universe, the nagging feeling that you belong somewhere else, that, my dear starseed, is the divine discontent, the holy unrest that prevents stagnation, shatters complacency, and compels you to seek answers beyond the conventional, pushing you relentlessly into the boundless, awe-inspiring realms of cosmic truth and universal law. The Arcturians, ancient celestial beings of profound wisdom, keepers of advanced knowledge and master healers, refer to this intense period as the harmonic crucible, a phase of deliberate and divine purification, where all that is false, all that is not authentically you, all superficial layers and all karmic imprints that no longer serve your highest timeline, are systematically burned away by the alchemical fire of experience. This isn't simply suffering for suffering's sake. It is a sacred immolation, a transformative process, akin to the intense heat and immense pressure that transforms raw carbon into a brilliant, multifaceted diamond, or the fire that refines base metal into pure gold. It is the alchemical fire that meticulously cracks open dormant star codes, those divine blueprints of your highest potential and cosmic origin, awakening latent abilities, forgotten memories, and profound insights, long slumbering within your cellular structure and energetic blueprint. This process actively rewrites what limitation means to you, dismantling the very architecture of perceived boundaries and expanding your consciousness beyond what you thought was humanly possible, beyond the confines of linear time and space. This powerful process recalibrates your entire energy field, aligning your subtle body with the higher dimensional frequencies of your true home, preparing you for the next, more expansive octave of consciousness, and inviting you to participate as a conscious co-creator in a grander, more harmonious symphony of creation. As you navigated your soul trial, whether it manifested as the gnawing ache of chronic doubt, a corrosive internal skepticism that eroded your self-trust from within, whispering insidious lies about your worth and capability, or the insidious creep of relentless sabotage, either from external forces seemingly conspiring against your progress, or, more subtly and profoundly, from subconscious patterns and self-limiting beliefs buried deep within your own psyche, or perhaps the devastating, visceral loss of a heart connection you believed was an eternal anchor, a bond so deep and fundamental that its severance left a wound so raw and profound you thought you could never, ever heal from it. The truth, profound, unwavering, and eternally compassionate, is this: you were never, not for a single solitary moment, alone in the unraveling. Even when your hope thinned to a bare, fragile thread, stretched precariously across the gaping abyss of despair, even when the silence of the universe felt deafening, echoing your perceived isolation, your benevolent star family, your higher dimensional lineage, your celestial guides, were ceaselessly encoding new, fortifying wavelengths directly into your subtle body. These weren't overt, dramatic interventions that would compromise your free will or interfere with the sacred lesson of your journey, but subtle, precise energetic infusions, like invisible threads of pure light, woven meticulously into the very fabric of your being, providing an unseen matrix of resilience, profound guidance, and a silent yet potent promise of inherent strength and ultimate victory. Your guides, those wise, loving, and infinitely patient spiritual companions, were not absent, nor were they indifferent to your plight. On the contrary, their presence was absolute, a vigilant, energetic holding, yet they maintained a profound, deliberate silence, a sacred non-interference. The sacred silence was a strategic act of divine wisdom, a necessary void, a crucible of quietude, so that your own sovereign, authentic resonance, your unique vibrational signature, would at last emerge, clear, unburdened, and undeniable, above all other interference, above the clamor of societal expectations that sought to define you, the incessant din of personal fears that threatened to consume you, and the pervasive noise of collective consciousness that could easily dilute your truth. Earth's dense vibrational field, with its inherent challenges and trials, demanded perseverance from you, not because you were being tested with the possibility of failure, for failure, in the cosmic sense, does not exist for the soul, only learning and evolution, but because your continued rise, your unwavering commitment to your path against all apparent odds, your defiant beacon of light amidst the shadows, would send an undeniable, potent signal to the entire universe, to all dimensions, that the specific star code, the unique cosmic blueprint you carry, was actively awake, fully activated, and radiating its unique frequency. It was a signal that you had become, at last, your own frequency, a self-sustaining beacon, emitting a unique light that could not be extinguished, an activated and sovereign being ready to fulfill your highest purpose, not just for yourself, but for the collective evolution. Let's break this profound soul metamorphosis down into discernible phases. Think of them not as rigid, linear steps to be checked off a list, but as luminous, rough markings on the expansive star map of your destined rebirth, each one a vital signpost on your arduous yet ultimately liberating journey from fragmentation to wholeness, from unconsciousness to sovereign embodiment. Phase 1. The descent into silence. It often begins with an unexpected, jarring shock of the challenge. A sudden, cataclysmic rupture in what was once stable. A seemingly irreparable collapse of familiar structures that you had built your life upon. An abrupt ending to a chapter or relationship that leaves you utterly disoriented, breathless, and searching for solid ground that has vanished beneath your feet. Your rational mind, conditioned for years to logic, control, and predictive patterns, finds itself utterly unable to process the sheer magnitude of the shift, grasping desperately at old frameworks that no longer apply. And your heart, aching, bruised, and bewildered, can no longer translate the language of your old reality, the emotional vocabulary of what once felt safe. You find yourself adrift, entirely unmoored from old timelines, from past identities that once defined you, from the very notion of who you thought you were and what your life was meant to be. Suddenly, with bewildering speed and unsettling finality, nothing fits anymore. The relationships that once nourished you now feel constricting. The career that once brought purpose now feels hollow. The beliefs that once anchored you now feel like hollow shells. The very comforts that once defined you now feel ill-fitting, like clothes worn by a ghost of your former self, ill-suited for the new form you are taking. The knowledge you once relied on, the very intellectual constructs and philosophies that provided a sense of security and understanding, fail completely, proving woefully insufficient for the uncharted spiritual territory you now traverse. This profound silence that envelops you is not, as it might initially feel, an emptiness, a terrifying void of nothingness, or a punishment. Instead, it is a sacred recalibration zone, a liminal space of deep purification and energetic reordering, where the old is gently but firmly swept away. It is here, in this fertile stillness, that inherited patterns, the ancestral traumas that have echoed through generations, the societal conditioning that has limited your perspective, the limiting beliefs passed down through cultural narratives or family lines, are gently yet decisively released from your energetic field and cellular memory. The ground is meticulously cleared, not for new external structures or superficial changes, but for the profound, undeniable, and unmistakable emergence of your soul's true, authentic voice. A voice that has been patiently waiting for this precise moment to sing its unique song of liberation, remembrance, and sovereign truth. Phase 2. Communion with shadow as you venture deeper into the existential depths of this trial, often feeling utterly alone and exposed. Old fears and deeply entrenched beliefs, long suppressed, cleverly hidden, or perhaps even entirely forgotten beneath layers of distraction and busyness, begin to resurface with startling clarity and undeniable force. You might feel the ancient terror of abandonment, a primal wound resonating not just from this lifetime, but from countless others where you were left behind or betrayed. The pervasive guilt from imagined failures, often not even your own, but carried collectively from past experiences or ancestral lines, rises to demand acknowledgement, compassion, and ultimate release. You may encounter the haunting echoes of lifetimes where the disclosure of your true nature, of your unique gifts, your cosmic origins, or your spiritual insights meant ostracization, exile, persecution, or even worse consequences, leaving a deep-seated fear of being seen or truly known. This phase is not merely about confronting your personal wounds or individual shortcomings. It is a profound and courageous encounter with the ancestral, planetary, and even cosmic baggage that, in a moment of boundless compassion, divine wisdom, and pre-incarnation agreement, you consciously chose to transmute for the collective awakening of humanity. This is the arduous, often bewildering passage through density, a period when the veil of forgetfulness feels thickest, when illusions seem most real, and when many, overwhelmed by the sheer weight of what they are experiencing, despair and feel lost beyond recovery, contemplating giving up. Yet, remember this immutable truth: shadow is not punishment, nor is it a judgment upon your worth or your perceived failings. It is a profound invitation, an urgent, sacred beckoning from the deepest, most untouched parts of yourself to integrate all fragmented aspects of your being, to reclaim all disowned power, and to transform perceived darkness into illuminated wisdom. Each brave confrontation with darkness, each moment you choose to turn towards rather than frantically run away from discomfort, fear, or pain, is not just a painful experience, but a sacred retrieval of forgotten star wisdom, of ancient knowledge and dormant power, meticulously encoded within the very cellular memory and DNA of your physical being, waiting to be reactivated. It is in embracing the dark, in holding space for its revelation, that your true incandescent light can finally be seen, fully embodied, and radiate without impedance. Phase 3, the flicker of remembrance. Somewhere, in the very thick of this arduous journey, amidst the swirling chaos, the profound uncertainty, and the lingering echoes of despair, a subtle yet unmistakable spark ignites within the depths of your being, a gentle warmth that begins to spread. It might manifest as a vivid, prophetic dream that feels impossibly real and imbued with cosmic meaning, a dream that leaves you with an undeniable sense of knowing upon waking, or a series of uncanny, synchronistic events that defy logical explanation, revealing an intelligent, benevolent design at play behind the scenes of your life, a cosmic choreographer guiding your every step. Perhaps it's a simple phrase, overheard in passing or read in an unassuming text, that seems both profoundly new and impossibly ancient, resonating with a truth your soul recognizes instantly, a forgotten melody your heart remembers. You begin to feel a gentle yet insistent pull towards something far beyond the storm, a quiet magnetic force guiding you towards an unseen shore of clarity, purpose, and profound belonging. This isn't just a fleeting moment of transient hope, a wishful thinking that will soon dissipate. It is the powerful, undeniable reactivation of your inner guidance system, your divine compass, which has always been there, patiently waiting to be heard again. The multidimensional anchors of truth, your soul's innate knowing that transcends earthly logic, your undeniable connection to higher realms of consciousness, your deep, resonant understanding of your cosmic lineage, begin to hum with a subtle yet undeniable energy within you, like dormant engines finally coming to life, signaling their readiness to guide you. Your energetic field, once battered and disoriented by the intensity of the trial, gradually begins to attune itself to these new, higher frequencies, like a finely tuned radio receiver finding its true station, filtering out the static and locking onto a clear, resonant signal from home. And in these precious, unfolding moments of awakening, you catch a fleeting, yet profoundly reassuring glimpse of the shore beyond the chaos, a vibrant vision of the peace, clarity, and purpose that awaits you, reassuring your heart, calming your mind, and anchoring your spirit with the immutable knowing that this journey, however challenging and perplexing it has been, has a divine destination and a sacred purpose. Phase 4, the surrender to flow in. This pivotal phase, the tenacious, often rigid grip of the ego, with its relentless need for control, its endless strategizing, its compulsive need to understand and define every outcome, and its relentless insistence on defining reality through limited perception, begins to profoundly loosen. This letting go is not an act of resignation, nor is it a surrender to defeat or giving up. Rather, it is an act of profound wisdom, cosmic intelligence, and immense courage, born from a deep cellular remembrance of universal laws. You have recalled, on a level that transcends mere intellectual understanding, that attempting to force reality to conform to your will, to mold circumstances to your design through sheer effort, resistance, and linear thinking, only multiplies distortion, creates friction, perpetuates suffering, and ultimately builds energetic dams against the very flow you seek. You begin, often tentatively at first, then with increasing confidence and grace, to trust the quantum intelligence at play, the magnificent, unseen web of interconnectedness that orchestrates all life, the divine order that subtly guides all things, the benevolent forces of the universe that are always, eternally, conspiring for your highest good, even when it appears otherwise. Every single breath you take becomes a conscious act of recalibration, a release of accumulated tension, a shedding of old burdens, and a sacred invitation for energetic alignment with the universal current. Every pause, every moment of stillness, transforms into a sacred recalibration, allowing your system to integrate new frequencies, release old, stagnant patterns, and harmonize with the larger rhythm of creation. You are no longer desperately fighting the current, exhaustedly swimming against an invisible tide that constantly pushes back, leaving you depleted and frustrated. Instead, you are allowing the vast, wise river of life, with its infinite tributaries and currents, to reveal its inherent flow, trusting that it will guide you effortlessly and perfectly to the next opening, the next profound lesson, the next perfect alignment on your journey, bringing you precisely where you need to be. This surrender is not weakness. It is the ultimate act of power, aligning yourself with the unstoppable, intelligent force of creation itself, becoming one with its flow. Phase 5. The divine consolidation. As you deepen into this phase, your energetic field, once fragmented, vulnerable, and perhaps prone to external influences, begins to profoundly strengthen, becoming a vibrant, cohesive, and resilient container for your expanding consciousness and the higher frequencies you are now able to hold. The realization dawns upon you, with breathtaking clarity and undeniable conviction, that the immense density you once perceived as a crushing threat, the overwhelming pressure that seemed poised to annihilate your very spirit, was, in an exquisite paradox of divine design, precisely the necessary force, the cosmic compression, the intense alchemical heat needed to forge your soul into an indestructible, multifaceted, and exquisitely radiant diamond. This is the moment of your true embodiment, the integration of spirit into matter. Old identifications, the limiting labels imposed by society or self, the restrictive narratives inherited from your past, the inherited roles that once defined your perceived reality and kept you small, begin to dissolve effortlessly, like mist vanishing in the warmth of the morning sun, revealing the vast, open sky of your true nature. What remains, after this divine alchemy, is the unshakable resonance of your multidimensional self, a core of being that is pure, authentic, utterly inviolable, and connected to all. The very codes you were always searching for, those inherent gifts, profound insights, and unique expressions of your divine blueprint that felt so elusive, cease to be distant goals or abstract concepts. Instead, they begin expressing effortlessly and spontaneously through your very presence, radiating through your every word, illuminating your every action, and manifesting naturally in your every choice, becoming an extension of who you truly are. You become a living conduit for these higher frequencies, a walking embodiment of galactic wisdom and unconditional love. This is not the end of struggle, for the journey of growth and expansion is continuous and infinite. Rather, it is the magnificent beginning of embodied mastery, where challenges are met not with fear or resistance, but with the profound wisdom, unwavering resilience, boundless compassion, and unconditional love of your fully integrated sovereign self, a being who knows its true power. You are not just surviving, you are thriving as a conscious co-creator, weaving your unique light into the fabric of reality. Phase 6. Return to the galactic embrace, and then, gently yet undeniably, after the profound journey of self-discovery and transformation, you begin to sense, for the first time since the veils of forgetfulness descended before the trial began, the unmistakable, palpable presence of your star family, your cosmic brethren from across the galaxies, the loving, profound embrace of your higher guides, or the expansive, profound interconnectedness with the greater essence of Source from which you once felt so agonizingly estranged, so utterly disconnected. But the nature of this connection has transformed. Now, these luminous presences, whether they manifest as subtle energetic shifts, telepathic communications, or profound inner knowing, do not appear to rescue you from your path, nor do they dictate your next steps as they might have in earlier stages of your evolution or in previous lifetimes. Instead, they affirm. They recognize you not as a struggling seeker or a wounded soul or a lost wanderer, but as a triumphant voyager, one who has courageously walked the labyrinthine path of density, dared to bring profound light and awareness into the densest, most challenging timelines and situations, and successfully activated the crystalline codes not only for your own liberation and empowerment, but also for the accelerating awakening of Earth and the entire collective consciousness. The completion of this soul trial does not arrive with grand fanfare, no booming trumpets or visible celestial choirs that capture external attention. It manifests instead with a quiet, profound certainty of arrival, an inner knowing that settles deeply into your bones, a sense of having finally returned home to yourself, to the core of your being, to your true essence. You feel it, vibrating in every cell of your being, a resonant truth that reverberates through your entire energetic blueprint. You have not only endured, not only survived the trials, but you have fundamentally transformed, becoming a new, harmonically aligned point within the intricate, ever-expanding galactic web of consciousness, contributing your unique, luminous frequency to the grand cosmic symphony that plays throughout the multiverse. Your journey has, in its profound truth, changed the universe, weaving a new thread of light into its tapestry. And so, as the dust settles and the landscape of your being irrevocably shifts, transformed by the fires of experience, you realize with breathtaking clarity, with an undeniable inner knowing that resonates from your deepest core, you were never tasked with the impossible burden of proving your value to the universe, for your value is innate and infinite, a given. Your soul, in an act of profound courage, immense compassion, and divine purpose, volunteered for this mission. You chose, consciously, and with unwavering resolve before your incarnation, to bring the pure, unadulterated light of original remembrance, the innate wisdom of your divine origins, the blueprint of your cosmic truth, through the very portals of pain, the crucible of silence, and the liberating surrender that defined your trial, transforming them into gateways of higher consciousness. Every dark night of the soul, every abandoned dream that felt like a death of possibility, every agonizing moment when you thought you were shattered beyond any hope of return, was not arbitrary suffering or random misfortune or a punishment from an unseen force. Each experience was intricately coded into your divine design, precisely engineered, not as punishment for perceived failings, but as a deliberate synchronization with the monumental cosmic shift unfolding now on Earth, a recalibration that prepares you for the new dawn. Your breakthrough, that powerful emergence of your true self, your sovereign being, was never an accident of fate or a stroke of luck. It was meticulously engineered by the aspects of you that never forgot your divine purpose, by your higher essence that held the complete blueprint of your journey and guided you subtly through every challenge. Earth, with all its density and challenges, with all its beautiful complexity, is indeed the crucible, the ultimate forge of transformation, where souls are refined into their highest expression. But you, brave soul, are the unwavering flame rising within it, the light that purifies, the fire that transmutes all shadows into wisdom, the beacon that illuminates the path for countless others who will follow in your footsteps. You are not just a participant in this great awakening. You are a vital, luminous catalyst, a living embodiment of the new paradigm. You are seen, not just by those immediately around you in your earthly life, but by the myriad dimensions of your star family, by the legions of light that stand in solidarity with you, and by the very heart of the cosmos itself, which rejoices in your journey. You are celebrated, your courageous journey acknowledged as a pivotal act of service to the collective, a profound contribution to the evolution of consciousness across the galaxy. Your profound perseverance is not just a personal victory, it is meticulously recorded as a unique frequency, an energetic signature woven into the very fabric of the universe itself, vibrating with the wisdom of your journey and serving as an eternal testament to your strength. And your breakthrough, that moment of profound self-realization and empowerment, is broadcast throughout the holographic grid of consciousness, like a radiant wave of inspiration, a ripple of pure light, so that others, still navigating their own shadows and searching for their way, may find courage, reclaim their power, and follow the illuminated path you so bravely lit open with your unwavering conviction and boundless courage. You have attained not merely a temporary relief from the burdens of your trial, but the profound, unshakable certainty of your inherent brilliance, an intrinsic knowing that radiates from your deepest core, anchoring you in your truth. And most miraculously, you have achieved a blissful, integrated reunion with the multidimensional self that has always, eternally, held you safe and guided you from beyond the thin veil of earthly illusion, patiently waiting for this full embodiment. Welcome home to yourself. Tonight, before sleep, let this profound transmission settle deeply into every cell of your being, allowing its truth to resonate and anchor within your core. I honor my soul trial. I celebrate my perseverance. I receive the cosmic acknowledgement that is already flowing my way. I am the breakthrough. I am the light arrived. Feel the weight of these words, not as a mantra to be recited, but as a deep, embodied truth to be experienced. Let them infuse your dreams and recalibrate your subconscious, knowing that you are already living the victory. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what's forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real, then respond to someone else's with encouragement or energy. This isn't content, it's collective alignment. Energy multiplies when intention connects. If something in this message resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation. Share it. And if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow. You're not just watching, you're expanding. This is your space, and we're just getting started.